Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, January 30th, 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Yuli Manyani will no longer be the Minister of Justice only 16 months after he took the office. The decision to dismiss Manyani was presented to the President of the Republic by Prime Minister Edi Rama today after a meeting the Prime Minister held with the Assembly Speaker, Ilir Mehta. The meeting was held to discuss the recent media rumors about the dismissal of the Minister of Justice. Shortly after that meeting, the Minister of Justice appeared at the Assembly Speaker's office, where the decision was communicated to him. Mr. Manyani was dismissed from his post as Minister of Justice after he made statements on television speaking of massive cannabis planting in the country, attacking the Minister of Interior, and making statements regarding the failure to arrest Clement Balili. Later, the Assembly Speaker and Petrit Vasili, who is proposed to be the new Minister of Justice, held a meeting with the President of the Republic. It is thought that the meeting of the National Security Council was discussed, a meeting asked for by the Assembly Speaker. Meanwhile, the Socialist Party parliamentary group held a meeting where not a word was spoken about the dismissal of the Minister of Justice. At the end of the Socialist Parliamentary Group meeting, the Vice Prime Minister called the dismissal fair and added that changes are always made for the good. The new Minister of Justice, Petrit Vasili, who is expected to be decreed by the President, is currently the Vice Chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration and the head of the Socialist Movement for Integration Parliamentary Group. He has also been the Socialist Movement for Integration representative at the Ad Hoc Commission on Judicial Reform. Prime Minister Edi Rama dismissed the Minister of Justice, Yuli Manyani, today. The news was made public after a meeting the Prime Minister held with the Assembly Speaker, Ilir Mehta. Mr. Manyani later gave a press conference where he spoke about his dismissal, issuing strong accusations against the government. Manyani claims his dismissal is revenge by the Prime Minister and that the decision was made because he critiqued several issues he feels are not being treated properly. Mr. Manyani then listed several reasons which, according to him, prompted the Prime Minister to sign his dismissal. With harsh words, Mr. Manyani accused the Prime Minister of pressuring the Assembly Speaker for several months to dismiss him. But Manyani added that the partners have asked for the dismissal of another minister. I was notified about my dismissal by the media. Being a minister was a very important duty for me. I did my best and I have been professional. When I became a minister, I found no practice of professionalism and constitutionality. The ministers are not allowed to speak in government meetings. The Prime Minister has pressured the Assembly Speaker to dismiss me. I was dismissed because I spoke without permission. You are dismissed if you speak without permission. You are dismissed if you give your opinion. This is the message of Edi Rama. The ministers are afraid to speak. It's not a crime to speak, it's democracy. The government is out of any constitutional standard and operates in conditions of illegality. Decisions are made under pressure. Government decisions are being made without holding any meetings. Nothing relates me to this government. I feel honored that I have been dismissed. I have spoken the truth. That's why I was dismissed. The partners asked for Minister of Interior's resignation, declared Manyani. Commenting on Clement Balili's arrest, he added that there have been efforts to link his name with the accused for drug trafficking, saying, I was notified about Balili's arrest warrant on May 17, 2016, and I have asked for his arrest since that day, he said. The former minister said that he will do everything he can for an independent justice system and accused the government of corruption, spoke of concrete corrupt acts, telling the prosecution to refer to the documents that exist. After he listed the reasons for his dismissal and harshly attacked the Prime Minister, the former minister thanked the chairman of his party, Mr. Ilir Mehta, and advised him to sign detailed and written political agreements in the future. The 4 commissions set up to gather the vetting forms continue with their work. 2 days are left for the judges and prosecutors to submit their self-declaration forms. The number of forms submitted at the Supreme Justice Council is increasing every day, along with the number of forms submitted to the Prosecution General. Only a few prosecutors have not yet submitted the self-declaration form. Meanwhile, the number of forms submitted at the Supreme Inspectorate for Declaration of Wealth and the Directory of Classified Information has reached 750. All judges and prosecutors must submit their wealth declaration forms at the Supreme Inspectorate for Declaration of Wealth and their personal information forms at the Directory of Classified Information. Then the prosecutors must submit their professional data at the Prosecution General and the judges at the Supreme Judicial Council. Prime Minister Edi Rama and the Minister of Interior announced today that a new address register will be started, with the Prime Minister declaring that Albania is the only country in Europe where a person's address is found by asking around. Prime Minister Rama declared that even though Albania has a population of 4.4 million, it is largely believed that the country has a population of only 3 million. The lack of a proper residential address system shows that the country is underdeveloped. According to the consensus, Albania has a population of 4.4 million. The truth is that this number is not well known to us. We keep saying that Albania has a population of 3 million people. The country does not have a basic accessible database of its residents' addresses. It is the only country in Europe where address of a relative is found by asking others, Rama said, emphasizing the importance of registering the population according to their address and creating a transparent and fully accessible register of the residents' addresses. Driven by this concern, the Minister of Interior said that the citizens have 6 months' time to report their changed addresses, and if they fail to do so, they will be fined. According to the minister, the new system will contain address data for every citizen. 1,200 interviewers will knock at citizens' doors to gather the necessary data for the address system. Chairman of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Mr. Ilir Meta, held a meeting with the SMI Structures of Administrative Unit number 8, where he declared that the candidates, or MPs, will be selected by party members. According to Mr. Meta, the party members will select who will be the candidates they trust the most inside the party, saying, "The Albanian people should not only participate in voting, but above all, they should select. They should have the opportunity to select the party candidates they trust the most. The Socialist Movement for Integration will ask its members from all around the country for their opinion about the list of candidates for parliament members. Everyone should give their opinion about the candidate they think will best represent the Albanian citizens' interests," Mr. Meta declared. The SMI chairman added that the citizens have now seen the Socialist Movement for Integration's strength and that this political party will work more towards economic growth and employment. Foreign experts, journalists, and representatives from local and regional media held a meeting today to discuss the way the national licenses are given and the activity of the Audiovisual Media Authority. International experts have raised their alarm regarding the way the national licenses were given, and they spoke about how the process is made in European countries. Bringing Spain's experience, expert Joan Barata declared that national licenses should be given through an open, honest, and legal process, saying the Audiovisual Media Authority's process to give national licenses should be open and transparent in accordance with international laws and standards. Referring to similar examples in Spain, I think the Audiovisual Media Authority should exert its activity through an open and transparent process. The best applications should get the national licenses, Barata said. Meanwhile, the European expert Newkirk said that international assistance is being given to the Audiovisual Media Authority regarding strategies and processes it should follow for the digitizing process. The chairman of the Parliamentary Media Commission, Mr. Jens Polo, said that the recent meeting of the AMA Authority, where a national license was given through a secret vote, damages media pluralism. Mr. Polo said that this would not have happened if Albania had a fair justice system, but he gave assurances that the Media Commission will legally follow this issue. The local and regional media once again raised their concerns before the international experts about the monopolization of the market, declaring that the Audiovisual Media Authority has violated the law by giving 4 licenses to only 1 operator, and further noting that they are heading towards bankruptcy. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.